Now, last week on SmackDown, Edge wrestled Sheamus in what he himself said was the final match on his WWE contract. And he said after the show, in front of all the fans in Toronto, that he truly did not know what his next move was going to be. Other than he did know that that would be his final time wrestling in Toronto because he doesn't think his body has another year of this left in him. And that got people talking about him possibly signing with AEW. And maybe even making a surprise appearance at Wembley Stadium this weekend, which wouldn't be possible because his WWE deal is technically not up until the end of September. So that is not going to happen. This week, we got an update from Wade Keller of the Pro Wrestling Torch on Edge's status, and then we got a follow-up from Edge himself to debunk said report. But the report said PWTorch has learned that Copeland presented to WWE what it would take to retain his services, but WWE declined to meet his request. This has sparked a belief within WWE that he is probably headed to AEW and knew at the time what AEW could offer him, based perhaps on conversations with other wrestlers of his star power about AEW pay. Tony Khan is a big fan of Edge and certainly would value adding him to the roster either as a wrestler or in some other role. Also, Christian Cage is a longtime friend of Copeland's and is prominently featured on AEW TV, so linking them together in some way would be natural. With the Endeavor deal not closing until next month, it's at least plausible that they wouldn't want to be throwing millions of dollars at a part-time player like Edge right now because Edge is not signing for anything less. If the reports of what he got his current deal to be are, as far as the money he supposedly signed for when he came back, if that's even remotely true, then we're talking millions of dollars. And it's at least plausible then that maybe they would, stay away and say, look, we can't really do that right now because we have this deal that hasn't closed yet with the new owners, and so we can't do it. I still think that if they thought they would lose him to AEW, they would do whatever it takes to make him happy and keep him in the family. But the next morning, Edge took to social media. He posted a video of himself. He was sitting outside on his porch. He was drinking his morning coffee, and he was addressing the rumors. He said, "I woke up to a bunch of voicemails, texts, and everything from actual friends and family wondering what's going on, concerned. So I just figured I better address it. There is nothing going on. There is no hard feelings between me and WWE. I love WWE. It's my dream job. It's all I ever wanted to do. And I didn't come at them with some crazy contract or anything, and they didn't deny me. I have a contract extension sitting in my inbox. I just don't know what to do. The first time I had to retire, it was forced. And this time, the choice is in my lap, and it's a lot harder. WWE gave me that night, Friday night in Toronto, and it was the best night of my career. A lot of people will say you should retire at WrestleMania or this or that, but it's not their career. That Friday night was really special for me, and I don't know if that can be topped, to be perfectly honest. And if we think we can, then great. But I need to sit with it and just know that whatever it is that I do, whether it's Percy Jackson, which is coming out soon, or if it's wrestling, or if it's sitting in my rocking chair, that it's because I'm having fun, and having fun at this stage of my life and raising my kids are the two most important things. So I hope that clears stuff up. I'm going back to my coffee. See ya." Keller posted a follow-up after Edge dropped the video, and he said, "Our report indicated that WWE did not meet his initial offer. Edge doesn't explicitly say that WWE met his initial offer, but rather WWE produced an offer for him, which he has not signed. Our sourcing indicates the offer he has from WWE does not match his initial proposal. If he is planning to look into a move to AEW, it will certainly help his negotiations if he has a standing offer with WWE, even if it's not exactly what he initially proposed during the course of negotiations. All indications are WWE and Edge are on very good terms, and if he does not renew, there won't be any hard feelings on either side. It'll instead just be a case of Edge choosing to explore other options." Hey, look, that's what Randy Orton did. He used AEW to leverage a better deal for himself the last time he re-signed with WWE, and more power to him. If Edge is doing the same thing or trying to do the same thing here, good for him. Get that bag. Get what you can. Because how many more of these contracts does he have left? right? This could be his last one, depending on how long it is. Edge says he didn't come at them with a crazy offer, although crazy is a subjective term. Edge may not have considered what he wanted to be crazy. That doesn't mean, a number wasn't given that WWE balked at. But he claims the WWE did not deny him, that he has a contract extension sitting there waiting for him and he just hasn't made up his mind. I think that sounds reasonable. That doesn't mean, though, that the extension that WWE offered him is going to be to his liking. That could be part of why he hasn't made a move yet. He's wondering if maybe not just that he wants to come back, he may be mulling it over and saying, okay, is this the deal that I want to accept? It's still possible that part of the reason he's so indecisive right now about what he wants to do is that the money they're offering him, maybe it's not as much as he thought he would get, or that he knows he could get from somewhere else. I don't doubt that he is genuinely undecided if he wants Toronto to be his swan song or not. Like he said, wrestling got taken away from him 12 years ago. This time he gets to make the call himself. That's a hard thing to do when you're still making the kind of money that Edge is making for only working a handful of matches each year. He's not doing house shows. He's not working every pay-per-view. He's doing very limited TV. He gets to do WrestleMania, maybe a Saudi show, maybe the Rumble. And for the money they're paying him, unless he's completely crippled up and injured and he just can't do it, why say no? If you think you can get another year, 2 years for that amount of money, and you have a certain number of matches, why not do it? Right? I mean, look, I think he'd be a fool not to see what AEW is willing to offer him. But I just can't see the money being so astronomically different that going to AEW would be just like a no-brainer. He's going to be treated well either way. With WWE, there's a comfort level there. It's the one place that he's been for all these years. Basically his entire career outside of the independents has been with WWE. I know he did some enhancement work for WCW, but that was a lifetime ago. I don't count that. But he's been a WWE lifer this whole time. He says there's no bad feelings there. He loves being there. If he wanted to do more behind the scenes, I'm sure WWE would love for him to help out. But now you may be talking about less money. WWE may be willing to pay him millions of dollars to wrestle, but not millions of dollars to be a producer or to be a coach. Which is probably why Tony Khan turned down Bret Hart's offer back in 2019 to help out behind the scenes. Everybody jumped down Tony's throat for that when that story resurfaced a few weeks ago. Oh, how could Tony Khan turn down Bret Hart and not want Bret Hart? If you stop and use your brain for a second, did it ever occur to you that maybe Bret wasn't going to be a coach or a producer at the pay rate that coaches and producers are paid? Because if money was no issue, then Tony Khan would have welcomed Bret Hart with open arms to his company. So, what does Edge want to do? He said he doesn't think his body can take another year of bumps. Well, I think Tony Khan is going to want him for more than just 3 matches a year. So can his body handle it or not? Because if not, then it doesn't make any sense for him to leave and go somewhere else. You go with the devil you know instead of the devil you don't know. We'll know in a month if we don't hear anything about him re-signing. That would make him a free agent come October. At this stage, it's hard to imagine him leaving and going anywhere else. You ask me what do I think is going to happen? My money? He re-signs with WWE and stays right where he is.